Hello guys, hope you're having a really great day. My name's Holly Baxter. Two real quick reasons, actually that's four, that's two. Two quick reasons why you should stick around and listen to what I'm about to talk to you about on carbohydrates. One, I have a Bachelor of Food Science and Nutrition, so I'm a qualified nutritionist, not just a fitness body or a fitness professional. And I also have a master's degree in dietetics, so I am a qualified or accredited practicing dietitian in Australia. Now, today's topic is carbohydrates, and I've had a lot of questions recently thrown at me, and particularly from a slightly older demographic of women when I went down to visit my family in Launceston in Tasmania. They were always asking questions about carbs. You know, why are they making us fat? Why is it that when I lose weight, it's because I've cut out all my carbohydrates? So this is not anything universal, what I'm about to discuss, but just to reiterate how it actually is that carbohydrates function within our body and how to, I suppose, manage them a little bit more carefully. So let's get one thing straight. It's not the actual carbohydrates themselves that are making you fat. It is our usually overconsumption or excess energy intake. And certainly carbohydrates can contribute to an excess amount of energy, but so can fats. If you consume too many fats, you will gain weight as well as protein. So if you overconsume energy as a whole from food products, well then you're going to gain weight. Any diet strategy that puts you in a caloric deficit where you're taking in less than you're expending, you will lose weight. So you can achieve this not just from dieting from carbohydrates, but you can also do this from modifying your fats as well. So carbohydrates are usually overconsumed. It's very easy to chew down and drink a lot of carbohydrates in a very short sitting. Now, we all have individual carbohydrate requirements, and this will depend varying on your age, on your gender, your lean muscle mass, what you do for activity, what your occupation involves. Are you sitting down? Are you sedentary all day? Or are you really busy? Amongst other things. So for most of us, unfortunately, the amount of carbohydrates that we actually require is never enough. I know I could go to town on carbohydrates, but I do have to be mindful because I don't have an unlimited bank of carbs that I can have. So without some careful consideration and a little bit of planning, it is very easy to consume a lot of carbohydrates without even thinking about it. So just to give you an example of that, for instance, at the moment, I'm following an aggressive fat loss diet. Now, this is an extremely low carbohydrate intake, so I'm on about 110 grams of carbohydrate at the moment, but just to point out what would be normal for me, now that might be different for you, could be different for somebody else, but I would usually have somewhere around 200 to 250 grams of carbs per day based on the amount of activity that I'm doing or planned exercise. As well as what I do for my occupation. So sometimes I'm quite active. I mean, when I'm doing PT, I'm a lot busier active on my feet than if I'm sitting down doing clinical dietetics, where I've got patients coming in during the day. So it depends what I'm doing. But for 100 grams of carbohydrates, which is what I'm trying to stick to at the moment for an aggressive fat loss diet, that would easily be consumed. That carb bank is gone if I was to have a cup of, say, cafe-style muesli with some yogurt, a sliced banana, and some berries. So just in that one meal, in that combination, that's 100 grams of carbs done. That leaves me no room to move. So you can see it is very easy if you were to go out for breakfast or you had like pancakes and Nutella and banana or something like that, and just in a moderate sized portion, nothing crazy, your carbs gone, or they're certainly chewing into your available carbohydrates. To give you another example, let's think about, say, 1 cup of cooked rice and, say, any variety of soft drink, so like a glass of soft drink. I know that's an odd combination, but maybe you were going out for dinner and you had a Coke and rice as part of a dish that you were consuming. So just that 1 cup of soft drink and 1 cup of rice alone is about 100 grams of carbs. So they are dense. So to give you an example of the carbohydrate necessary for, say, an active female, so this is somebody that is exercising regularly, perhaps training say, I don't know, for 1 hour a day, and at a moderate to high intensiveness, they would be able to consume somewhere between 4 to 5 meals of carbohydrates, with about 40 to 50 grams of carbohydrates at each meal occasion. Whereas somebody that is sitting down all day, quite inactive, so it might be a desk job, and who isn't able to find time to do a lot of training, they may only require, say, 2 to 3 smaller meals with 50 grams or 40 to 50 grams of carbohydrates. So that is basically what I'm suggesting when it comes to how frequently you should be having your carbohydrates, depending on whether you're somebody that's active or inactive. Now, that's just very broad spectrum information I'm passing on to you here. If I'm working individually with a client, obviously it's very specific and I can tell you a lot more. But overall, I just wanted to sum this up so it wasn't a too longer of a video. But my suggestion would be to make sure that you plan your carbohydrates before and after your exercise. So if you don't have an unlimited energy bank of carbohydrates to spend, if you're going to have them, try to put them in around your workout so that you've got plenty of exercise before you get in there, so you put in 100% effort. Try to include a variety of carbohydrates. So breads, grains, cereals, fruits, yogurts, they're all really good sources of carbohydrates. And you might even like to actually include some other sometimes foods. So things like baked goods or lollies or some kind of treat like that. It's not that they're not allowed. They're perfectly fine, particularly if you need a quick source of energy before you exercise. And I do this all the time. But that is fine as long as you don't expend all of your carbohydrates in the one go. You don't want to be using up all of that and then have absolutely nothing left for the rest of the day. And also making sure that you're allowing room for other nutrient-rich carbohydrates. So foods along with fresh vegetables, dairy, so that you're getting your micronutrients in as well, because it's one thing to achieve carbohydrates, but we can very easily do this on what I like to call empty calories. So they're giving you your carbs, but they're not very nutritious. So just keep that in mind if you are going to include some of these sweeter or sometimes foods. And obviously making sure you're having a really good amount of protein in your diet, from whether it is lean red meats, particularly women. You want to be able to get all that iron in. And when calories are restricted, I do find it is quite difficult to adhere to someone's iron requirements if not every single meal occasion is being provided from like a red meat source. So do try to include red meat as well for your protein source, and maybe even have an iron supplement, just as a little side note. So by doing this, you're just going to ensure that you're able to better adhere to the requirements for all of the vitamins and minerals. I hope that helps. If you have any specific questions about carbohydrates, or you want to know your own carbohydrate requirement, please get in touch with me. I'll put all the information from my website and contact details down below. I offer nutrition coaching, accountability coaching, tailored meal plans specific for your training goal, whether it's body fat loss, muscle mass gain, or just generally kind of maintaining and being healthy. I certainly can put something together for you. Yeah, I'll wrap it up at that. I hope you have a really great day, guys. Thank you.